Power is often misunderstood. People think domination is about force, control, or overpowering others. But the truth, as quietly demonstrated by Marcus Aurelius, is far more disciplined and far more dangerous. Real domination begins within. It is the ability to command your thoughts, regulate your emotions, and act with precision while others react with chaos. When you master yourself, you step into a realm where external circumstances lose the grip on you. You no longer chase control, you become it. Most people are ruled by impulse. They react instantly to disrespect, pressure, fear, and uncertainty. This is why they remain predictable. Unpredictability is weakness. The Stoic mind moves differently. It observes before it acts. It pauses where others rush. In that pause lies power. In that stillness lies strategy. When you learn to delay your reaction, you gain the advantage of clarity, and clarity always defeats confusion. The first step toward domination is emotional discipline. If something can provoke you, it can control you. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He reminded himself daily that people would be rude, selfish, and ignorant, but he chose not to be disturbed. Imagine walking into every situation already prepared for difficulty. Nothing surprises you. Nothing shakes you. You become untouchable, not because life is easy, but because your mind is unbreakable. Silence is another weapon most people underestimate. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, the one who listens holds the advantage. Silence allows you to gather information. It gives you time to think. It makes others reveal more than they intend. When you speak less, your words carry weight. When you act after observing, your actions carry precision. This is how influence grows quietly but powerfully. Control your perception, and you control your reality. Marcus Aurelius believed that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgment that makes them good or bad. This insight is powerful. If you can reframe obstacles as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and pressure as training, then nothing works against you. Everything becomes fuel. And a person who can turn everything into fuel cannot be stopped. Discipline is the foundation of all strategy. Without discipline, knowledge is useless. Many people know what to do, but they lack the strength to do it consistently. Marcus Aurelius wrote about rising early, doing the hard work, and fulfilling his duties even when he didn't feel like it. That is domination. It is doing what must be done, regardless of mood or comfort. Over time, discipline builds a reputation, first with yourself, then with the world. Detach from outcomes, but commit to action. This is one of the most powerful Stoic principles. When you become obsessed with results, you introduce anxiety, fear, and hesitation. But when you focus only on your effort, your preparation, and your execution, you become unstoppable. You do your best, and you let the rest unfold. This mindset frees you from pressure and allows you to perform at your highest level. Strategic patience separates amateurs from masters. Most people want immediate results. They rush decisions, force outcomes, and reveal their intentions too early. But true power moves slowly. It waits. It studies. It chooses the right moment. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet his writings reflect calm, patience, and long-term thinking. When you stop chasing quick wins, you begin to build lasting dominance. Guard your mind carefully. What you consume shapes how you think, and how you think shapes how you act. If your mind is filled with negativity, distractions, and noise, your decisions will reflect that. But if your mind is trained, focused, and disciplined, your actions will carry strength. Be selective with what you allow into your mental space. Not everything deserves your attention. Accept what you cannot control, and dominate what you can. This principle alone can transform your life. You cannot control other people, outcomes, or external events. But you can control your effort, your mindset, and your response. When you shift your focus to what is within your power, you eliminate frustration and increase effectiveness. You stop wasting energy and start using it with precision. Finally, understand that true domination is not loud. It is quiet, steady, and undeniable. It does not seek validation. It does not announce itself. It shows through consistency, discipline, and results. Marcus Aurelius did not need to prove his strength. He lived it, and that is the ultimate lesson. You do not need to convince anyone of your power. You build it, and it becomes visible. If this message challenged your thinking and gave you a new perspective on power, then you're already on the path. Subscribe to this channel to keep sharpening your mind, strengthening your discipline, and mastering your inner world. There is more to learn, and those who stay consistent will rise above the rest. Most people lose before the battle even begins, not because they lack strength, but because they lack direction. A scattered mind cannot execute a focused strategy. Marcus Aurelius understood that clarity of purpose is essential. When you know exactly what you stand for and what you are working toward, distractions lose their power. You stop chasing everything and start mastering one path. And mastery, not randomness, is what creates dominance. You must learn to operate without constant validation. Many people rely on praise to stay motivated, and criticism to define their worth. This is a fragile way to live. The Stoic approach is different. You act based on principles, not opinions. Whether people applaud you or doubt you, your course remains the same. This level of independence is rare, and that is why it is powerful. When your actions are no longer tied to approval, you become unpredictable and difficult to manipulate. Adversity is not your enemy. It is your training ground. Every challenge you face is shaping you into something stronger, sharper, and more capable. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, and immense pressure, yet he used these experiences to refine his character. Instead of asking why something is happening to you, ask how it can strengthen you. This shift in perspective transforms pain into power. Energy management is a hidden form of strategy. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. One of the greatest forms of domination is knowing when to disengage. Wasting your energy on trivial matters weakens your ability to perform where it truly matters. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Be ruthless about where your energy goes. There is strength in simplicity. Many people overcomplicate their lives with unnecessary desires, distractions, and obligations. But Marcus Aurelius valued simplicity. When your life is simple, your mind is clear. When your mind is clear, your actions are precise. Strip away what is unnecessary. Focus only on what truly matters. This is how you move with speed and certainty while others remain stuck in confusion. Your reputation is built through consistent action, not words. Anyone can make promises. Anyone can talk about what they plan to do, but very few people follow through. When you become someone who executes reliably, you gain a quiet respect that cannot be faked. People begin to trust your presence, your decisions, and your leadership. And trust is a powerful form of influence. Fear is often an illusion created by the mind. It exaggerates risks and hides opportunities. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that most of what we fear never actually happens. And even when it does, we are often stronger than we imagined. When you confront fear directly, it loses its power over you. Each time you act despite fear, you expand your capacity. Over time, what once intimidated you becomes insignificant. Learn to think long-term. Short-term thinking leads to impulsive decisions, while long-term thinking builds lasting power. Every action you take should align with the person you are becoming. This requires patience, discipline, and vision. Marcus Aurelius constantly reflected on the bigger picture, reminding himself of the temporary nature of life. This allowed him to focus on what truly mattered and ignore what did not. Self-reflection is a critical part of growth. Without it, you repeat the same mistakes. Marcus Aurelius practiced daily reflection, examining his actions, thoughts, and decisions. This habit allowed him to improve continuously. Take time to review your day. What did you do well? Where did you fall short? What can you do better tomorrow? This process sharpens your awareness and strengthens your control. Do not seek comfort, seek growth. Comfort feels safe, but it keeps you stagnant. Growth, on the other hand, requires discomfort. It pushes you beyond your limits and forces you to evolve. Marcus Aurelius embraced this reality. He did not run from difficulty. He leaned into it. When you start viewing discomfort as a sign of progress, your entire mindset changes. And remember, domination is not about controlling others. It is about mastering yourself so completely that external forces lose their influence over you. When you reach that level, your presence alone commands respect. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to prove anything. You simply operate at a level that others recognize. If this message is helping you think differently and act with more intention, then you are exactly where you need to be. Subscribe to this channel to continue building your discipline, sharpening your mind, and mastering the strategies that separate the average from the exceptional. The ability to remain calm under pressure is one of the rarest and most valuable skills you can develop. When situations become intense, most people panic, rush decisions, and lose control. But the one who stays composed gains a massive advantage. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to remain steady in the face of chaos. Calmness is not weakness, it is control in its highest form. When your mind is stable, your decisions become sharper, and your actions become more effective. You must learn to detach from emotional noise. Not every feeling deserves your attention, and not every thought deserves your belief. The mind can be a powerful ally or a dangerous enemy, depending on how you manage it. Observe your thoughts without immediately reacting to them. Create distance between what you feel and what you do. This space allows you to choose your response rather than being controlled by impulse. Consistency will always outperform intensity. Many people start strong, fueled by motivation, but quickly fade when that motivation disappears. Marcus Aurelius understood the importance of steady effort. Small, disciplined actions repeated daily create powerful results over time. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be consistent. This is how real progress is built, and this is how dominance becomes permanent rather than temporary. Learn to endure what others avoid. Most people run from discomfort, responsibility, and hard decisions. But growth exists on the other side of resistance. When you train yourself to face what is difficult, you separate yourself from the majority. You become someone who can be relied upon in challenging situations. This reliability builds both inner confidence and external respect. There is a quiet strength in humility. While many chase recognition and status, true power does not need to be announced. Marcus Aurelius, despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, constantly reminded himself to remain grounded. Humility keeps your ego in check and allows you to continue learning. When you believe you have nothing left to learn, you stop growing, and stagnation is the enemy of progress. Focus is your greatest asset in a distracted world. Every day, countless things compete for your attention. Notifications, opinions, entertainment, all designed to pull you away from what truly matters. If you cannot control your attention, you cannot control your life. Train yourself to focus deeply on one task at a time. Eliminate distractions. Give your full effort to what is in front of you. This level of focus creates results that others struggle to achieve. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the habits you allow all influence your mindset. If you surround yourself with negativity, distraction, and mediocrity, it becomes difficult to rise above it. But when you create an environment that supports discipline, growth, and focus, success becomes more natural. Be intentional about what you allow into your life. Accountability is a form of power. When you take full responsibility for your actions, you eliminate excuses. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck. Instead, you focus on what you can improve. Marcus Aurelius held himself accountable not just for his actions, but for his thoughts and intentions. This level of ownership creates a mindset where growth is always possible. Time is your most valuable resource. Once it is gone, it cannot be recovered. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the brevity of life, reminding himself not to waste time on trivial matters. Every moment you spend is an investment. The question is, what are you investing in? Are you building something meaningful, or are you drifting without direction? When you become aware of time, you begin to use it with purpose. Resilience is built through repeated exposure to difficulty. You do not become strong by avoiding challenges. You become strong by facing them again and again. Each obstacle you overcome adds to your ability to handle the next one. Over time, what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. This is how strength is developed, not in comfort, but in resistance. And in the end, understand this: domination is a process, not a single moment. It is built through daily decisions, disciplined actions, and consistent effort. There is no shortcut, no quick path. But for those who commit to the process, the results are undeniable. You become stronger, sharper, and more in control with each passing day. If you've made it this far, you are already showing a level of commitment that sets you apart. Stay on this path. Continue to refine your mindset, strengthen your discipline, and elevate your standards. And subscribe to this channel to keep learning the principles that will help you rise above the ordinary and step into your full potential. Clarity in decision-making separates leaders from followers. When you hesitate too long, opportunities disappear. When you rush without thinking, mistakes multiply. The balance lies in trained judgment. Marcus Aurelius developed this by constantly refining his thoughts, weighing actions against principles rather than emotions. When your decisions are guided by reason and not impulse, you move with confidence. You stop second-guessing yourself and start executing with precision. You must become comfortable with being misunderstood. Not everyone will see your vision. Not everyone will agree with your choices. And that is not your concern. Many people weaken their strategy by trying to explain themselves to everyone. This leads to doubt and hesitation. Stay focused on your path. Let your results speak. In time, those who questioned you will either understand or become irrelevant. There is power in restraint. Just because you can act does not mean you should. Just because you have the ability to respond does not mean it is necessary. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized self-control as a form of strength. When you restrain unnecessary actions, you conserve energy for what truly matters. You become calculated rather than reactive. And calculated individuals rarely lose. Adaptability is a silent advantage. The world is constantly changing, and those who resist change often fall behind. But adaptability does not mean abandoning your principles. It means adjusting your methods while staying true to your values. Marcus Aurelius led during times of uncertainty, yet he remained flexible in his approach. When you can adapt without losing your core, you become resilient in any environment. Your thoughts shape your identity. The way you speak to yourself matters more than the way others speak to you. If your internal dialogue is negative, doubtful, and limiting, your actions will reflect that. But if your thoughts are disciplined, focused, and constructive, you build a mindset that supports growth. Be aware of what you tell yourself daily. Your mind is always listening. Patience is not passive, it is strategic. While others become frustrated and give up, patience allows you to stay in the game long enough to win. Marcus Aurelius understood that many things take time, and forcing results often leads to failure. When you combine patience with consistent effort, you create a powerful combination. You outlast those who rely on quick success. You must learn to stand alone when necessary. There will be moments when your path separates from the majority. Moments when your decisions are not popular. This is where strength is tested. Can you continue without support? Can you stay committed without validation? True domination requires independence. It requires the courage to move forward even when you are the only one who believes in your direction. Discipline your habits, and your life will follow. What you do daily shapes who you become. Small habits, repeated over time, create powerful outcomes. Marcus Aurelius emphasized daily practice, whether in thought, action, or reflection. If you build strong habits, you eliminate the need for constant motivation. Your actions become automatic, aligned with your goals. Let go of the need to control everything. Control is often an illusion, and chasing it leads to frustration. Instead, focus on influence, what you can actually impact. Your effort, your mindset, your preparation. When you release the need to control external outcomes, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. You operate with clarity and effectiveness. Strength is built in silence. The work you do when no one is watching is what defines you. It is easy to perform when there is an audience. It is difficult to stay disciplined when there is none. Marcus Aurelius wrote his thoughts privately, not for praise, but for growth. This is where real development happens. In the quiet moments, away from attention. And as you continue this journey, remember that mastery is never finished. There is always another level to reach, another skill to refine, another weakness to overcome. This is what makes the process meaningful. You are not chasing perfection, you are pursuing progress. And with each step forward, you become more capable, more focused, and more powerful. If you feel this shift in your thinking, if you notice a new level of awareness and discipline forming within you, then you are evolving. Stay committed to this path. Continue to build your mindset and refine your strategy. And subscribe to this channel to keep unlocking the principles that will elevate you beyond limitations and into true control of your life. Awareness is the foundation of all control. If you are not aware of your thoughts, your habits, and your patterns, you cannot change them. Most people move through life on autopilot, repeating the same behaviors and wondering why nothing improves. Marcus Aurelius practiced constant awareness. He observed his reactions, questioned his impulses, and corrected himself in real time. When you become aware, you interrupt the cycle of weakness and begin building deliberate strength. You must train your mind to separate what matters from what does not. Not everything deserves your concern. Not every problem deserves your energy. Many people exhaust themselves by focusing on trivial matters while ignoring what truly impacts the growth. Strategic thinking requires prioritization. Identify what moves your life forward and give it your full attention. Everything else becomes background noise. There is a difference between motion and progress. Being busy does not mean you are advancing. Many people fill their days with activity but achieve very little. Marcus Aurelius focused on meaningful action, doing what was necessary, not what was easy or distracting. Before you act, ask yourself, does this move me forward? If the answer is no, reconsider. This simple question can transform how you use your time. Control your reactions, especially in moments of conflict. When challenged, most people react emotionally, escalating situations and losing clarity. But when you remain composed, you gain control of the interaction. You see what others miss. You respond instead of reacting. This level of control not only protects your peace but also positions you as someone who cannot be easily provoked. Your standards define your outcomes. If you tolerate mediocrity, you will live a mediocre life. If you demand excellence from yourself, your actions will rise to meet that standard. Marcus Aurelius held himself to a high level of discipline, not because he had to, but because he chose to raise your standards. Expect more from yourself. This shift alone can elevate every area of your life. Learn to recover quickly from setbacks. Failure is not the end. It is part of the process. What matters is how fast you regain your focus and continue moving forward. Many people dwell on mistakes, allowing them to define their identity. But the Stoic mindset treats failure as feedback. You learn, you adjust, and you move on. This resilience keeps you in motion while others remain stuck. Protect your inner peace at all costs. The world will constantly try to pull you into chaos, distraction, and negativity. If you allow it, you will lose your clarity and your direction. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of guarding the mind. Your peace is not something to be given away freely. It is something to be protected deliberately. Be intentional with your words. What you say reflects how you think. Speak with purpose, clarity, and restraint. Avoid unnecessary talk, complaints, and negativity. When your words are controlled, your mind becomes sharper. People begin to listen more closely, because they know you do not speak without reason. This is how influence is built, through precision, not volume. Challenge yourself regularly. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. If you are not being challenged, you are not evolving. Marcus Aurelius faced constant challenges, and instead of avoiding them, he used them as opportunities to strengthen himself. Create challenges in your own life. Push your limits. Test your discipline. This is how you expand your capacity. Stay grounded in reality. Avoid illusions, fantasies, and unrealistic expectations. See things as they are, not as you wish them to be. This clarity allows you to make better decisions and take effective action. Marcus Aurelius valued truth, even when it was uncomfortable. When you face reality directly, you eliminate confusion and gain a clear path forward. In the end, domination is not about overpowering others. It is about becoming so disciplined, so focused, and so aware that nothing can easily disrupt your path. It is about building a mindset that remains steady in any situation. This level of control is rare, but it is achievable for those who commit to it daily. If you've stayed with this message, it means you are not like most people. You are willing to think deeper, act with purpose, and grow beyond limits. Continue this journey. Refine your mindset, strengthen your discipline, and subscribe to this channel to keep unlocking the strategies that will help you rise, lead, and dominate your reality.